Hi guys, we are going to do a little activity right now on Google Sheets to make a data table for our density parfait lab, which we're going to do on Friday in the next class. So the first thing you want to do is through your email, click on the little boxes up in the upper right hand corner and click on Sheets. Once you get into Sheets, you're going to click the big red button down in the bottom to get a new sheet. And once you have your new sheet open, the first thing we're going to want to do is name it. So you're going to go up to the upper left-hand corner, click on it, and we're going to call this Density Parfait Data Tables. Okay, so let's see. Let's start by selecting all. So go ahead and select all the cells, highlight them all. And you're going to go up to the Format tab right here, right below the word Tables, and go down and select Text Wrapping, and then go over and select Wrap. What that does is it ensures that anything we type into each cell will automatically fit within that cell. It doesn't spill over to other cells, which can get a little confusing as we start to write up our data table. Okay, each data table that you make wants to have a title for it, so you can keep it organized from all the other ones. This lab only has one, but it's just a good practice to get into. So we're going to make a title across the top, 6 cells. So what you're going to do is select cell A1 and drag all the way over to F1. Don't drag up here where the column headings are, just drag in the cells to highlight those ones, and it should look exactly like this. Then you're going to go up to Format again, and instead of text wrapping, right above it, it's going to say Merge Cells, and you're going to type Merge Horizontally. Perfect. Now go up, click in that cell, and we are going to write Density Parfait Data Table. Oops. Data Table 1. And then go ahead and click out of the cell. Now we'll do a little bit of formatting now, and then we'll kind of make it look pretty at the end, and I'll let you guys mess around with it. But go ahead and re-click on the cell after you click out of it. And then I like to click on bold, go up to the alignment and center it. If you want to italicize it or underline it or make it bigger, you can do all that later. Okay, now we need to come up with our column headings. So in the exercise you did in class, you guys came up with some column headings, which might have been a little bit confusing, but think about what the independent variable was or is going to be in the experiment. So what are we changing, and then what are we measuring about that change? Well, the independent variable is going to be the liquids. So we'll have our first column is almost always the independent variable. So we're going to type in type of liquid or mixture, whichever you want to say. And then I believe we have A, B, C, D, E, F. Oops, that one we just want regular old D, like that. And if you highlight all these guys right here, A3 through A8, you can center those as well, just like this, if you want to. Okay, our next column heading is going to be the first thing that you collect. So the first little bit of data that you collect, and that is going to be your beaker. And before you put any liquid in it, you have to do something with it. Anybody have an idea? Mass it. So we're going to write mass of beaker. And then the units for mass, which hopefully you guys all know, base unit, gram, just like that. And you can see how it automatically adjusted it so it fit within the cell. Okay, after you get the mass of the beaker, you're going to fill the beaker with 10 milliliters of the liquid. I'm going to hold off on the volume right now though because I want to keep all my mass measurements together, and I'm going to go ahead and enter the mass of the beaker and the liquid. So that'll be the title for this column, mass of beaker and liquid, again in grams. And then based on those two, hopefully you guys have determined that's how you figure out the mass of the liquid. You find the difference between them, and our next column is going to be mass of liquid. Oops. Okay, two more things. You measured out the volume of the liquid at 10 milliliters. So you're going to write volume of liquid, and we take the volume in milliliters. Now I'm not going to type in 10 all the way down here because there's a chance with some of the liquids when you put them in you're going to get a little too much or you're going to get a little too little, and they're very thick and hard to work with, so you don't want to have to try to get it exactly at 10. So I will let you guys adjust your volume, which should not affect density, because when you change your volume, your mass will obviously change a little bit, which will give you the ratio that we're looking for. The final derived measurement, the purpose of the lab, is density of liquid. And our units for that are going to be the mass over the volume, thus grams per milliliter. Awesome. So we're almost done, but now we just need to make this data table usable, and you're going to be printing it out today so that you can handwrite all your data onto it in class, because I don't want you using your computer. So you're going to go ahead and select the data table. So from A1, you're going to click and drag all the way down to F8. Now, if we were to print this right now, we wouldn't see any of those lines that you can see faintly, and you want to be able to see the lines so you can write your data in them. So you're going to go up here to the little box, looks like a window, where it says borders. You can click on the little arrow and see all your different options, and you just want all borders. So that first one right there, go ahead and click on. It's going to give your data table some borders there. You can do some other fun stuff as well. You can add, a double thick border underneath your titles around the outside. You can get super fancy with the types of borders that you have if you'd like to. I'm not going to spend too much time on any of that right now, but I'll let you guys mess around with it after I sign off, and you can make your data table however you like. I'm going to now click out of this, and from experience I know that if I print this out, these little squares are going to be really, really small. So I'm going to teach you a trick to make them a little bit bigger but equally the same size. So first thing I'm going to do is make them a little bit longer, and what I'm going to do is go ahead and click on where it says 3. So where it says row 3, I'm going to click, and I'm going to highlight all the way down to row 8. And you'll notice that all of the rows are highlighted here. So click on 3 and highlight down to 8. And then what you want to do is you want to just size one of the rows to whatever size you want. And I'm going to let's say I've just about double them like that. And what it does is it makes them all that exact width. I'm going to do the same thing for my columns, for the ones that I'm going to be entering data into. So column B through F, I'm going to make them just a little bit bigger because I don't want them to go off the page. So I'm going to make it a little bit bigger just like that. Perfect. Last thing you can do if you want to clean everything up is you can highlight all your titles, you can bold them, you can center them if you want, just to make it a little bit easier to read. You can, do stuff like changing the color, all that good stuff, changing the size of the font. Again, not super important. You want your data table to be pretty standard, not too crazy, because if it's too colorful, then it's going to be distracting, and the whole purpose of it is to be able to take data in it. Okay. Last thing we want to check before we print is get a little print preview. So we're going to go up to the print menu. We're going to click on print, and let's see. You should have landscape highlighted. Now I'm on my Mac, so yours is going to look a little bit different. What I would recommend you do before you print, and I'm not going to actually print mine, but I'd recommend that you do a print preview to make sure that it's all on one page. If it's not all on one page before you print, just resize it and make it smaller so that it fits on one page. But you definitely want to print it orientation uh, landscape so that you get it a little bit longer and a little bit larger. Otherwise, it's going to be a little too short. So that is the end of my density parfait data table exercise instructional. Good luck, and make sure to print this out before the end of class, and you just want to bring it with you for class on Friday, and make sure you complete that pre-lab and turn it into me electronically. See you guys later.